I'd say there's no place you'd rather be on a winter evening than in downtown Aspen. But when the lights are on, the stars shine brightest, and all of Aspen has seemingly invaded Buttermilk to see X Games in prime time. We welcome you to our winter gathering. We're ready for it, and we hope you are too. Coming to you from X Games Aspen 2023. It's now time for men's snowboard at the Monster Energy SuperPipe. What's happening, everybody? Brandon Graham joined alongside my SuperPipe super partner, Craig McMorris, the Plaid Boys. And Craig, there's no denying, rivalries in any sport bring out the best performances, and we may have the greatest rivalry at X Games here tonight.
This SuperPipe final is stacked, and before you know where you're going, Brandon, you have to know where you've come from. So I want to jump back to the 2022 SuperPipe Finals, won by that man right there, Scotty James of Australia. He has some of the biggest tricks we have ever seen performed in the SuperPipe. What does he have with those tricks? Consistency, and that's what earned him the gold medal last year. Who is he up against? Who's another superstar? What about Ayumu Hirano? Last year in his fourth and final run, he attempted the triple. He put it down, but he went down in the flat bottom, so he was unable to add to that. I bet we're going to see another triple from the young Japanese rider, Ayumu Hirano.
Ayumu and Scotty seem to bring out the best from one another seemingly every year here at the Monster Energy SuperPipe. And I don't know if you can tell there, partner, the snow is really starting to come down on this pipe. So we're on a slight course hold while we put some maintenance on here. Don't go anywhere, though. More from X Games Aspen after this. Salema, we're not leaving. The show must go on, and it shall here at the men's snowboard at the Monster Energy SuperPipe. Yes, the snow is coming down, but the riders are ready, the fans are ready, and I hope you watching at home are ready. You just never know sometime with the conditions, but we are so stoked to be putting this on right here, right now. A look at our start list for tonight's final.
Couple big names on there, folks. I want to highlight the bottom two for certain. Scotty James and Ayumu Hirano. Also take a look at that number 5 spot, Kaishu Hirano, Ayumu's younger brother, and known for going absolutely massive, Brando. Yes. So a lot of big names, an eclectic cast of characters in this final.
Kaishu, the other half of the Flying Hirano brothers and our bronze medals from last year, but dropping in first. 23-year-old out of Telluride, Colorado, making his third X Games appearance, Lucas Foster.
Start things out.
Now, lots to like about Lucas Foster. One of them, if you follow him on Instagram, is he has got a double alley McTwist, which I think is probably one of the biggest double McTwists that I've ever seen. And we'll see if he has the speed to throw that here tonight. But if you're just joining us, obviously have a little bit of a competition delay. There's an alley McTwist. Single puts it down, very solid. But we have had a little bit of a contest delay due to that snow. The good thing about doing this event at nighttime is visibility isn't as affected because those lights are so bright, but the speed and the the consistency of those half-pipe walls with that fresh snow is a little bit more difficult to ride than when it's not snowing, Brandon, but a full pull in run one, rider one.
And if you're just joining us, we had a slight course hold. That was why we had a little bit of a delay, but we're getting going now here. Lucas Foster's first run officially in the books. And now, folks, let air traffic control know the flight path is about to be compromised. Valentino Giselli, he goes yard out of this pipe.
Why? Because of his work ethic. Valentino snowboards every single day. Big air, slope style, pipe, boom. That was absolutely massive. What you have to realize is that was switch backside air, switch method, if you will. Made famous, obviously, by one of our favorite snowboarders of all time, Danny Davis. But the fact that Valentino starts his runoff with that nice little double cork 1080 to cap things off, and just coming out of the half pipe, he could not be contained, Brandon.
So you have to wonder, obviously, with the snow coming down, the conditions of the pipe slightly changing. does that shift the aerial awareness, and how high will they go? Valentino, he don't care.
I mean, it doesn't really look like it looks like it is affecting Valentino there with that switch method. So well done, so difficult to do. There's this front side double cork. 3 full times around, 2 off-axis dips. That's when his hips go a little bit sideways. Not a full flip, but an off-axis.
Looks like that young man's having a good time, huh? Ruka Hirano, 20 years old, no relation to Ayumu or Kaishu, but the 3rd Hirano in our field of 8 riders.
Ruka, unlike Ayumu and Kaishu, rides left foot forward, makes that a beautiful frontside 540 to start off his run. Backside 900 right there into the frontside double cork 1080. 3 full times around, 2 off-axis dips. Doing everything he possibly can to keep the speed, and that was a 1260. You can take that to the bank, Brandon.
Last time we saw Ruka here at the Monster Energy Super Pipe, it was in 2021 when he earned a bronze in his X Games debut. Good to have him back in the mix here in Aspen tonight.
And a solid first run. I think that will definitely, you know, put him up. I think that puts him above Lucas there with the 1260. Here's a great look at it. That backhand on the toe edge, just around the knee.
So early in the contest, I put Ruka up in the second. Valentino still leading the way, but here is Yuto Tatsuka. We didn't see him here last year, but in 2021, he took home gold.
He has some of the biggest tricks. We talked about Ayumu Hirano, we talked about Scotty James. You know, they got 1440s, backside 12 doubles, even triples. Yuto does possess a cab triple cork as well, and a whole plethora of others. But you can see here the snow is definitely affecting the riders. Yuto usually going a little bit bigger than that, adding a couple more 360s to some of those tricks there, so he's going to toss that one away. But it's a jam format, Brandon.
And you have to wonder, obviously everyone's riding under these conditions, so how are you going to react to that? Kaishu Hirano, another rider who drops in, and you'll get ready to see skyrockets in flight. Kaishu goes here on the Monster Energy Super Pipe, and we're excited to see him. He made his X Games debut here last year, earning bronze. Just 20 years young. Younger brother of Ayumu Hirano, dropping in now.
Don't even worry about it. That was absolutely massive in these conditions there. Big method, front 10 double, cab 10 double. So those mirror each other. One you take off regular, the cab one you take off switch. Oh my goodness, that big twist is a thing of beauty. So Kaishu puts it down, base down. Lots to like, great attitude on the method there. Back-to-back 1080s and then that big twist there at the end.
High up there.
Way up there. But you can see with our camera angles, look at how much snow is falling. And when that is falling into the flat bottom, it is so difficult to keep your speed up. It just slows you down so much.
That's not even mentioning visibility. So under 25 minutes to ride with here in the men's snowboard at the Monster Energy Super Pipe. We turn our attention now to Jan Scherer, making his 6th X Games appearance. He does have 1 bronze medal. Kaishu, by the way, that run put him into the top spot. Jan, such a unique rider, and you'll see with this bag of tricks, a lot different than the rest of this field, Craig.
I really meant it when I said a very eclectic cast of characters off the top. Everybody approaches the pipe so differently. You know, you could watch Jan Scherer ride next to Scotty James. It's completely different. Next to Ayumu, next to Kaishu. Everybody kind of attacks this thing extremely uniquely. And Jan, frontside 1260 right there. Beautiful, beautiful alley-oop to cap things off. When I say alley-oop, that means his shoulders turn up the pipe. Usually your natural way of spinning would be down the pipe. So right there, he'd be spinning to his right. Alley-oop, he comes up and spins to his left direction.
Good to see Jan back in the mix here at Buttermilk, and I don't think the conditions impacted his trick selection whatsoever.
I mean, if you could do a 1260 in that amount of snow in this slow of a half pipe, that means you've got that trick on lock. There's a great look at it there. Takes off very similar. You may be thinking of that 1080, but adds another 180 to that, making it 1260.
And Jan taking over first place here at the Monster Energy SuperPipe. And now the owner of 4 X Games medals, 2 of them gold in this event. Some might say the most talented man in this field, Ayumu Hirano.
Okay, we're going to start with the 12. Let's just start with it, get it out of the way. Beautiful 1260, but losing altitude on that backside 540. And that front 10, I mean, you know, if the snow wasn't falling, I could almost guarantee that Ayumu would not be putting a backside 540 into his run. But a full pull nonetheless, highlighted by that 1260 right off the top, Brandon.
You gotta get your feet under you, right? I mean, the conditions worsened since these guys were hitting the pipe for practice earlier. Now he's got his first run in, and the conditions could be even different by the time he gets to his second attempt. Getting a full pool matters.
I mean, you have to be somewhat aware. You see Ed Scherer go above you. He's currently in first place with that trick selection.
So here now, our defending gold medalist, owner of 4 gold medals in this event, 7 total. Perhaps the most technically gifted rider we have ever seen here in the Monster Energy SuperPipe. He is Scotty James.
Look at how he 180s into the pipe. Starts this off with a switch McTwist, higher than I have ever seen anybody do a switch McTwist. That was a thing of beauty, folks. You know, we saw Valentino do that switch method. I think a switch McTwist executed that well is even more difficult. Oh, okay. Scotty James says, I don't care about the conditions. You guys can talk about that all night. I'm going to do a massive switch McTwist. I'm going to do a switch back 12 and deal with it.
I came here to play.
Yeah. What? That switch McTwist. It's one thing to do these tricks. You know, you can do a switch McTwist, but to do it that high above this super part.
This is the Scotty James we annually see in perfect conditions.
I love this final hit right there. So,
look at that shot. The entire state of Colorado is here.
Are you kidding me? Are you absolutely kidding me? You gotta give
The more
it to
things
him.
change,
Absolutely.
the more they stay the same. One run in, and it's Scotty James taking over the top spot. Well, before we go to break, let's head on to DC with a special announcement.
Yeah, thank you so much, Brandon. And yeah, hanging out at the top of the pipe here for this Monster Energy Men's Snowboard SuperPipe. Wax techs are hard at work right now. The fresh snow, we all love playing in the powder, but not ideal for contest situations. So looking forward for this snow to taper off as we got the best transition riders in the world that are gonna throw down for you all. But it's a beautiful night under the lights here in Aspen, Colorado. Back to you guys.
Thanks, DC. You know what? A decision has to be made.
What is it?
We're not going anywhere. No commercials right now. We're going commercial free thanks to our good friends at Monster Energy Men's Snowboard SuperPipe lives on. Let's keep going, Craig.
I love it. Give the people what they want.
Well, the people got what they wanted with Scotty James on that final attempt of run number 1. But we turn our attention back to the top here as Lucas Foster tries to put something down, currently sitting in 7th place.
Love that alley-oop McTwist on his final hit in run 1. Let's see if he adds to that. Lucas on that front side 900, 2.5 times around, landing a little bit low, and when you're trying to keep your speed, landing low makes it even more difficult. So slightly cleaner from Lucas Foster than run 1. Let's see if that bumps him. out of that 7th place position he currently sits right now. Cab 10 starts on that switch toe side edge. See how far down the pipe he lands? You just lose so much speed, and when conditions aren't ideal, you pay for it.
Valentino Giselli just outside of podium position. The Australian rider sits in 4th, had a really nice first run. Now that he got that full pool in front of him, can't wait to see what he does here on run number 2.
Similar to Scotty James with that first switch hit here, Valentino drops in switch. We saw Scotty kind of 180 into the pipe, so a little bit of a different approach at a switch heel side takeoff. But the fact that Valentino just got that cat 1080 around is, that's a miracle.
Craig, you and I talked about it earlier before broadcast about Valentino really looked so good last year, kind of hitting the scene. And the work that he's put in from last year to even tonight is staggering just how much better his snowboarding has gotten.
Absolutely. I said this in run 1, his work ethic. I use that word because nobody competes more than Valentino. He is doing every FIS World Cup, big air, slope style, pipe event. He is competing every single weekend and is on his snowboard every single day. And at the age of 17, that's what you can do, and that's how you get better. And you see him every single year get better and better and better.
Well, if you're just joining us, we're in the midst of run number 2 here at the men's snowboard at the Monster Energy SuperPipe. We're going commercial free this entire segment, thanks to Monster Energy. And we now drop in Ruka Hirano.
Okay, Ruka Hirano, switch back 10 double on that first hit. We saw Scotty James do that switchback 12 at the bottom. And you could kind of make an argument just the blind landing of that switchback double 10, definitely in the technicality realm of the switchback double 12. So Ruka Hirano, that was a sneaky, sneaky good run, Brandon. Lots to like in here. Let's pick it apart though. Left foot forward is natural way of riding. Here he takes off with his right foot forward. Switchback double 10. 3 full times around, goes off axis twice, and here's that final hit. Left foot forward takeoff.
I love it.
1260, brings that around, hands off the snow. This is gonna be very interesting.
And Ruka jumping up into that bronze medal spot. So Yuto Tatsuka, who went down on run number 1, can he bring the goods here on his second attempt?
Oh, double grab on that beautiful front 5, way above the super pipe. That cap 7 right there is definitely going to take a lot away from this run for Yuto. So what we're kind of seeing right here, Brandon, is when the conditions don't allow you to go super big, you know, call a hot route, find something new. We see Scotty James. Hot route. We see Scotty James adding, you know, very technical switch tricks. We saw that from Ruka and Yan Chair right now, and that's currently our podium, right? If the pipe doesn't allow you to go 1,000,000 feet out and do 1440s, how are you going to differentiate yourself in this final? So, you know, in my opinion, I like Yuto's run. He lands it, but there isn't as much substance there as we saw from Ruka, Yan Chair, and Scotty James.
Get out of that 8 spot.
Run 2 happening right here, right now at the men's snowboard at the Monster Energy SuperPipe, and we're coming to you commercial free right now, thanks to Monster Energy. And if you're just joining us after a slight course hold, the show went on, the snow is falling, but it doesn't really seem to be impacting our brightest stars as Scotty James is leading this thing. But next to drop in Kaishu Hirano, our bronze medalist from 2022.
Oh, kicking it out. A little flat there.
Landing pretty flat on that method, Brandon, and you could see he opts out of tricking on that second hit. Very good slash. Everything he does, he makes look good.
The one thing I will say that is clear when I look at Kaishu, when I look at Valentino, is the guys that are really known for their amplitude seem to be hampered the most right now in the pipe.
Absolutely. You know, there's things that I look really forward to, and one of them was watching Kaishu go a bajillion feet out of this thing and just unable to.
Hey, we want you to get your swagging rights. X Games Aspen limited edition merchandise collection available now at shop.xgames.com. Look at the swag down here at the base of Buttermilk. Got a, looks like a phone. Is that what dropped down?
That's important. Don't want to lose that.
Slight course hold.
Is it a phone?
But we move on. Jan Scherer, what a first run. Sitting in that silver medal spot after not seeing him here last year. Back in the mix for his 6th X Games appearance. Under 13 minutes to ride with. This thing is flying by.
It's going to be extremely tough to catch Scotty after watching that run, but Jan Scherer going backside 9. And then mirroring that front 10 double with the cab 10 double. He's just going to let this one off the hook here. A couple straight airs at the bottom, Brandon.
So Jan unfortunately losing speed there towards the back end. But again, I think the point remains that the more technical, the more unique lines that riders are able to take, guys like Scotty, Jan, and even Ruka, that seems to be shining right now given the conditions.
Absolutely. And I mean, you kind of have to think. You just got to get one down. I think we saw that strategy from a lot of riders. Is you don't know how much more snow is going to come, right? So you're trying to just land anything. And Jan was rewarded for that in his previous run. Obviously not going to take that one.
So Ayumu Hirano, we know he has the triple cork. Now this might not be the night that we see it, but who knows? If he's trying to swing for the fences here, not in podium position, is it something that crosses his mind, Craig?
You know what, I have to answer that honestly, and I think, well, oh, he's gonna go 1440. That's what I was gonna say, Brandon, is, yeah, maybe not the triple, but he has so many bigger tricks, like that 1440 we saw at the top. That's 4 full 360s around.
Backside 900
So a much better run than we have seen from Ayumu Hirano thus far in the final, but yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't know if that touches Scotty James's technicality with that, you know, that switch McTwist, the switch back double 12, but you gotta love this hit right here. Frontside 1440. We've seen a bunch of frontside 12s. Those have been unreal, but we haven't seen a 1440 yet.
Well, we've always seen it year in, year out with Ayumu. The impressive tricks for him generally happen right out the gate.
Yeah.
We've seen back-to-back 14s, and sometimes his undoing has been how he finishes his runs, whereas Scotty seems to get better as the run goes on.
That's a great point. It's a really, really good point.
And wow, Ayumu Hirano does not move up. Scotty James putting his boxing gloves on, ready to clash with the rest of this riders field, but he's sitting in first place, under 10 minutes to ride with. What does Scotty do? No one's really pushed him here yet.
I mean, the first time that we did a jam format at X Games, Scotty James did 3 completely different runs. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
So I feel like Scotty James has such a deep bag of tricks, and the conditions are going to reward that. Because he could put that switch back twist later. You know, he could put that switch back 12 up at the top. I think Scotty's just going to coast. He says, catch me. I'm in the #1 spot.
Should be noted, Scotty second on the all-time list for men's snowboard SuperPipe gold. He's got 4. Sean White with 8. But could Scotty add to his collection here tonight?
I mean, it's looking good. It's looking real good, Brandon.
Well, last I checked, there's nothing better than first place, and that's where Scotty James will stay.
I scored it. I break it?
So Scotty James staying in the top spot. More to come here from Aspen. We'll find out who earns gold at the men's snowboard at the Monster Energy SuperPipe when we return.
X Games Aspen is brought to you by Pacifico, brewed for those who carve their own path. Discover responsibly. And by Chipotle, for real.
You back to buttermilk as we get ready for our final runs here at X Games Aspen 2023. What a night it's been for the men's snowboard at the Monster Energy SuperPipe. But before we get going, let's head up to DC.
Thank you, Brandon. Well, as these gladiators of halfpipe continue to battle it out under variable conditions and what looks like chicken feathers falling from the sky, which of these athletes will make it to the St. Hubert's the Stag celebratory moments? We'll find out tomorrow. You're going to have to tune in tomorrow to find out which of these athletes will make it to St. Hubert's the Stag celebratory moments. Much love and respect to all our athletes.
Thank you, DC, and a look at our crowd out here tonight for the men's snowboard SuperPipe at the Monster Energy SuperPipe here tonight at X Games Aspen. So we're 2 runs in, and it's Scotty James leading the way. And there you see Lucas Foster asking a very pertinent question. Is this the final run? I haven't got an official word, but that may be the case here, Craig McMorris. And you would think, if in fact it is, that will greatly impact the strategy.
Absolutely. I think so. You have to believe it. I did like what DC said. It does look like chicken feathers. It is coming down. Yucko! Very hard. So Lucas Foster, 10-8 tail grab on that first hit into the cab 10. Then a front side 900, 2.5 full times around. And he has some difficulty there from what we have seen from Lucas Foster. Alley-oop McTwist, he's got that thing on lock. That's a fact, but just to your point, does that affect the strategy? And Lucas Foster bumping up technicality.
The Telluride kid saving his best for last.
What's different about that back 12 right there, that melon grab? You don't see a lot of melon grabs on the backside rotations, especially in the pipe there. So Lucas Foster, the best run we have seen from him thus far tonight.
Solid run right there for Lucas Foster. Legends never die. And forever.
So Lucas Foster, who's sitting in 8th place, obviously had a 5th place finish last year, trying to climb that ladder. But we turn our attention to Valentino Giuselli. Will we see the amplitude from Valentino here on this run?
That was switch. Whoa. That was switch, Brandon.
Somewhere Danny Davis is smiling.
So Valentino up with that front side 1260, but as you can see, just not a ton of amplitude until that one really finds a little bit of gas there on that final hit for the front side 1080. But I really have to applaud that first hit from Valentino. I mean, conditions, we've said it a number of times, they're not ideal, yet he still takes all the MPH he can, all the miles per hour into that wall on the switch heels. So you look at the 1260 right there. And then this final 1080, I thought he had, not a lot of speed, but for some reason, good edge control on that takeoff right there. That puts him up.
Whoa. Valentino Giuselli jumping up into the silver medal spot.
Will that hold up? Eddie Wall down to the bottom, telling Ruka.
Could Valentino Giuselli ride away with his first ever X Games medal? We will find out as we're closing in on the 6-minute mark here at the Monster Energy SuperPipe. Ruka Hirano dropping in. He's now sitting in 4th place.
Kind of dropped it regular and then 180 before that. Boom, switch back, double 10. I love the way that trick looks, and I love the way that Ruka executes it.
Front side, don't pour 10-8 in the front side grab, so solid run so far.
Ooh, but you can see there, when you don't have the amplitude for these double corks, for these 1080s, you're fighting so hard, and when you're tucking as high as you possibly can up the wall, it's hard to be explosive, on that takeoff. Valentino actually did a really good one there on his final hit. But when you're trying to just get every ounce of speed, sometimes you don't get that snap. And as you can see, Ruka doesn't really get the rotation landing. A little short there. A lot of weight on the heels.
Ruka been riding well tonight. Really, he's been riding well for the last few weeks. Obviously looked great in locks just last weekend. But 4th place is where he will stay, at least temporarily.
Still a few more competitors here to go.
It's so good to see the fans out here in droves. Everyone's having a good time. So much to do out here at X Games Aspen. But I wouldn't be anywhere but right here, right now. Yuto Tatsuka sitting in 7th place. That's not a place Yuto Tatsuka finds himself very often.
No, this is foreign territory for him. Is he going 14? Oh! He is going 1440, but that lip, that coping of the pipe came up very uninvited there.
You gotta let us know, buddy. I love it though. Don't you?
Absolutely. I mean, you talked about that strategy, knowing that this is gonna be your final run, why not? And especially when you know that the speed isn't there, as you go down, why not try to, do your 1440 or one of your hardest tricks, arguably, on that first hit.
Tomorrow, X Games Aspen continues on ABC with 2 hours of coverage, starting at 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, featuring men's ski slopestyle. Then at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on ESPN, we'll have the men's snowboard big air. All of our X Games coverage is live on the ESPN app. So after Yuto got sendy and wasn't able to complete that run, we turn our attention to Kaishu Hirano, sitting in 5th place, our bronze medalist from last year. What can Kaishu do to get back on that podium?
I mean, his riding is amplitude, punch you over the head with just bigger airs than everybody. And what you have to remember with Kaishu, he's still young, right? He's only 20, but he's got some hammers there. But as I mentioned, that's his style of riding, and that's where he shines. So I feel like in this field, with this inclement weather, it affects him greater than, obviously, a Scotty James,
Yeah, Kaishu's in the business of breaking the laws of physics in this pipe. And if he can't fully do that, obviously it's tough, but this was pretty sweet.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There you go. So Kaishu Hirano
About to hit the 2-minute warning here at the Monster Energy SuperPipe. Jan Scherer sitting in that bronze medal spot. Looked so good on that first run. Did he save his best for last? And could he possibly move up here?
Jan Scherer dropping in. Last run.
Nice back 9 tail grab there from Jan Scherer. It goes into the 1080s there. There's the 1260, very, very solid landing on that one. And then adds some rotation. So do that alley-oop 540 in the run that got him into currently third place there, but he adds some rotation to that one right there.
Jan Scherer re-entering the chat, Craig.
Absolutely. And this comes into strategy, right? You know he's got that 1260, puts it in the exact same place. He's already put it down, but here is where he adds rotation. There's that alley-oop. See how he spins to the left? Natural way of spinning would be right. You spin down the pipe, but he spins up the pipe, kind of alley-oops up, then adds another 360 onto that 540 that we saw from a previous run, making that an alley-oop 900.
Could this leapfrog Giuselli up in the silver medal spot? And it does! Jan Scherer taking over second place.
That is what you want to do right there if you're Johan. So Jan Scherer bumps up number 2 spot.
And then there were two riders left to drop in here on the Monster Energy SuperPipe. Ayumu Hirano sitting in 6th place. Many picked him to win here this evening. He's got his work cut out for him.
Frontside 1440. Yes, sir. Cap double 10. Frontside 540, maybe using this for a speed play. To the backside 900. Ooh, and a frontside double cork 1080, which takes down Ayumu Hirano. So Brandon, I said, to know the future, you have to know the past. And at the top of the show, we talked about Ayumu, and we talked about Scotty. And history has a way of repeating itself, right? In the third and final run of last year's event, Ayumu was the only one who could knock Scotty off that spot. Unfortunately went down and does the same here in 2023, but I really like that frontside 1440 off the top.
Yeah, unfortunately Ayumu washes out there, and speed just was the name of the game for him, unfortunately, out here this evening. He's not moving up, which means Scotty James will defend his gold medal, earning a 5th X Games gold. What else can you say about Scotty James? Already a Hall of Fame resume, and he's still at the height of his powers.
And this is a very fun victory run. Kind of just flexing a little bit. He's like, yeah, switch McTwist that high up. I got it every single time. Cap 10, yeah, I got it every time. Because he went 3 for 3 on the in this final, so. I mean, 2 to make it true. He's got 3, so.
Come for the snowboarding, stay for the high fives. They love Scotty James in Aspen. And that gold medal got put on him pretty darn quick. Our podium here at X Games Aspen 2023. Scotty James with gold, Jan Scherer with silver, and Valentino Giuselli earning his very first X Games medal, a bronze.
Inclement weather did not hold Scotty James back. Technical. He does it all, Brandon. He really does it all.
Well, let's head down to DC, who is with our gold medalist, Scotty James.
Yeah, Scotty James. I was ready this year for you to run away from me and go hug your fiance, so no big deal. I was prepared for that. Congratulations, brother. You did it again. Your 5th SuperPipe X Games gold medal, making your total X Games medal count 8 medals. But what kind of mental toughness does it take to perform under conditions like this tonight?
Well, firstly, Aspen, thank you. You held in there with us. It was so amazing. It was all your energy kept us going, and yeah, it was a tough night. You know, it was pretty interesting conditions, and you know, it was a little bit hard for us all to kind of push it a little bit this tonight. But had to adjust the game plan, and the show goes on, and I guess medals were going to be given out. So that was the game plan, and fortunately it worked out.
It worked out indeed. Congratulations, Scotty James, and this beautiful crowd out here tonight now is going to show you their love. Congratulations.
And we talk about it, Scotty James, it seems like no one works harder. No one spends more time in the pipe than that guy, and it shows. When you talk about technicality, when you talk about consistency, when you talk about drive, all of those things describe Scotty James. So the conditions weren't ideal, but the riders came to play here at the Monster Energy SuperPipe. Congratulations to Scotty James winning his 8th X Games medal, 5th gold. More from Aspen when we return.